Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George. We're all George. So, happy Monday. Welcome to another Market Open stream. Today, let's talk about one major bank, Standard Chartered, who made a huge, bold prediction for Bitcoin in 2024. Why did they make this prediction? And what did they predict? Let's talk about this and talk about everything else that's going on in the world today. Let's do this. Welcome, guys. Hopefully you guys had a good Thanksgiving or a good holiday weekend. There's the market bell. Now it's back to business. Many of you guys know where I am. It's very snowy. It's very cold. Within a week, we dropped 30 degrees, which sucks. Really sucks. Winter is here. Today, the market is opening mixed, but I did see this. Main headline news is about Coinbase and Brian Armstrong. And Coinbase's CEO, Brian Armstrong, says the crypto industry can turn the page after historic Binance settlement. Yeah, why not throw some more dirt on CZ and Binance while they are down, right? But I think the main point is this. Now, the crypto industry can move forward because of this settlement. I mean, honestly, it was just silly. It has nothing to do with that, but it's being orchestrated to make it appear that way. Like somehow Binance was holding up the crypto industry, was holding up spot ETFs and this and that. No, it had nothing to do with any of those things. Binance wasn't operating in the U.S. CZ wasn't in the U.S. either. This was just, you know, a dog and pony show, basically. But you know who benefits the most? Coinbase. Because BlackRock and ARK and Fidelity and everyone else that's trying to come out of the spot Bitcoin ETF, guess what? They're large shareholders of Coinbase. So who's going to benefit the most from this? Coinbase. So, of course, they're very happy about this. But, you know, overall, I was just thinking, you know, Binance, you know, was alleged to do a lot of things. But then, you know, you have banks. Let's just, for example, take JP Morgan, for example, who actually was caught doing some nasty things, yet you don't see the CEO, Jamie Dimon, being kicked out or being indicted for fraud charges, okay? You know, just to go back a little bit, I was just searching, you know, not too long ago, JP Morgan, they were manipulating precious metals, silver. In fact, JP Morgan, as a bank, was manipulating the price of silver worldwide. And they paid about $1 billion in fine. Did anyone go to jail for that? No. Before that, they were charged for $200 million for letting employees use WhatsApp to evade regulators' reach, so regulators wouldn't see what they're talking about. Yeah, did anyone go to jail? No. And it gets worse. What about when Madoff, you know, when the whole thing collapsed with Madoff? JP Morgan paid $1.7 billion. Did anyone go to jail for that? Well, other than Madoff, did Jamie Dimon get? No. And what about you go a little bit beyond that, and I remember this. What about the debt crisis, or not debt crisis, the mortgage crisis back in, this is back in 2013. This was even further. They agreed to pay $13 billion, okay? You add all that up, that's like $15 billion. Did anything happen to Jamie Dimon? No, it did not. Because JP Morgan Chase is too big to fail, and it's an American bank, so of course we have to protect our own, right? But when it comes to CZ and Binance, we have to shun them and say that they did all these bad things and force them out and this and that. That's just not right. The banks in the U.S. have done more harm when it comes to fraud, manipulation, money laundering, nefarious things. U.S. banks have done more of those things than any other company on the planet, yet they continue to operate and their CEOs continue to make hundreds of millions every single year, and life goes on. So you tell me how that's fair. It's not. It's not. But at least, you know, you have all these major banks now turning to Bitcoin. So we have that at least. Standard Chartered, who is an absolutely giant bank out of the UK. I looked them up. They have about 20 billion. They're worth about 20 billion market cap. Their annual revenue is in hundreds of billions per year. They're absolutely huge. I don't know. Maybe in the U.S., maybe not as much, or maybe I haven't heard of them in the U.S., but they are absolutely a huge bank, and they have become very bullish on Bitcoin. Their CEO has come out and said very positive things, and now their analysts are saying that, yes, Bitcoin will reach 120,000 by 2024. Here's the thing. They're saying 2024, not 2025. 2024. So that's just next year. And there's only two reasons they give, and they're good ones. Two reasons why Bitcoin will reach 120,000 by 2024. Number one is from the miners, okay? Because of the halving event. Miners are going to be very strategic about how much they hold and how much they sell, which basically is going to be nothing. And the miners, you know, they're the ones that's discovering all the new Bitcoins. And if they're not releasing anymore, well, then there's more of a supply shock. That's number one. And number two, of course, is Bitcoin spot ETFs. They will definitely make the market rise, right? So you got spot Bitcoin ETFs coming, and you got the miners that are going to be holding everything. So you got demand going upwards and supply going downwards. Well, that's why. It's really that simple. It always comes down to supply and demand. Supply and demand, right? And demand keeps on going up. Spot Bitcoin ETFs will bring more demand, and then supply for Bitcoin keeps going down. It's just such a simple. It's really simple. Let's just put it that way. But many people don't realize that. They think that there's infinite amount of Bitcoins, just like there's an infinite amount of stocks or infinite amount of money or fiat out there. No, there isn't. There's a set supply, and it's only going to decrease from here. So I guess the good thing about the banks are they are basically giving up, and they're saying we got to join the bandwagon, and they're going to help propel more demand and bring more people into the space. So at least there's that. What else is going on? Open interest, which is basically futures interest and options interest, is skyrocketing. I've mentioned this before, it has not changed. All-time highs, in fact. Like, we haven't seen this kind of open interest ever. So institutional interest is definitely here. Everyone wants a piece of Bitcoin. Okay? Now, today's price action, I know some of you guys are like, oh, look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin fell down today, right? Well, I mean, if you look at this chart, I mean, it's moving according to plan. In fact, it kind of stopped right here where, yeah, there's a resistance point right here, or a support line right here, right? And the next stop is boom, boom. If we hit the top of this channel, that's $40,000. Okay, that's where we're heading. But yeah, this kind of also shows it. Basically, you know, for the past 33 days, we've been trending upwards. I don't know how anyone can be bearish. I just saw someone in the live chat say, well, Bitcoin's not going to go anywhere. Well, we've been going somewhere, and that's upwards. That's what we've been doing. We've been slowly trending upwards, forming a higher low and even a higher high. We were just above 38,000 just a few days ago, and we will get above it, and we will soon see $40,000. We very well may end the year between 40 and 45,000. I think that's a real, if I had to give a percentage probability that we end between 40 and 45,000, I would say it's above 75%. That's how bullish I am going into December, right? So we're going to see Bitcoin trend upwards. And if, again, how can you be bearish when just look at October when we were still below 30,000. Like I just don't get it. You gotta expand your timeline a little bit, okay? But we're definitely trending upwards still. Not just Bitcoin. We know the entire market, all the alts, not all, but majority of the alts have started trending upwards. Even some of the small caps started trending upwards. Okay, even on Friday. On Friday, people always ask me, what are your micro caps that you like? What are the ones that, that you're eyeing for the new year, right? On Friday, I went through a couple of them. Some of the ones that I'm invested in and some of the ones that I am advising for. And here's two. WAGMI, okay? They shot up like 50% since that. And not from me, because they started forming a lot of collaboration with Alex Becker and everything. They got announced. But, man, they're like up like 50% since Friday. Another one I talked about is Mino. They're up like 10 or 15%. And they're in the fitness and shopping niche, I guess, right? Move to earn. So they're doing very well. I mean, there's so many. Even micro caps are starting to move, not just Bitcoin, right? So again, this is time, I've said this, time to be more greedy than fearful. Even in yesterday's video, I mentioned about being a little bit too conservative. And now I'm going to break out of that. That I think this is just the right time. This is definitely not the time to be fearful, which I understand is a hard habit to break. When you've been fearful for 2 years, basically, right? You always think about, well, what if there's a next doomsday drop? Well, if you've lived through any of the recoveries and the parabolic rises, you'll know that, yeah, you don't want to miss them. You don't want to miss them at all. Just like this. Just like this. We had 6 straight weeks of up. When was the last time we had 6 straight weeks of up? Well, that was back in 2020. 2020. Right before the parabolic rise, okay? So, are we going to see that soon? We had 6 straight weeks of up so far. Are we getting ready for that huge run up? And last time when we had a huge run up, Bitcoin was still around 10,000. And then we went all the way up. Well, we had a dip in between, but we went basically all the way up to $70,000. Okay? That very well may be coming. Right? Maybe not that soon, not like next week or the week after that, but after the halving event, that's what we have to look forward to, right? What else is there? Well, this is another chart that kind of shows you the same thing, okay? It's a parabolic signal. If you look at the bottom, it's quite simple. I don't know what this is actually looking at, what indicator TechDev is using, but it's pretty obvious that every time it flips into the green, Bitcoin starts going upwards. Okay, it's pretty self-explanatory, and it has just hit the green, right? So again, not time to be bearish. Other fundamental things that you guys love: small holder addresses hit all-time high, zero balance addresses, just basically anyone holding any significant amount, not even any significant amount, any amount of Bitcoin. It could be 0.00001 Bitcoin or sats. You could have 10 sats, 100 sats, whatever it may be. Okay? All-time high. Fundamentals of Bitcoin has never been better. You can make that argument. I've been saying that for basically a year now. The fundamentals of Bitcoin has never been stronger, and I don't believe we had this in any other cycle. We had addresses move up and down before. We had number of holders go up and down. Number of Bitcoin being held go up and down during previous cycles. But this one, not so much. Everything just keeps on going upwards. Again, it comes down to supply and demand, and demand is just increasing even during the low times, during recovery times, or during bottoms. during capitulation times. Bitcoin holders are strong and not going away anytime soon. So, fantastic stuff. All right, and I just got done mentioning it's not just Bitcoin. There's a lot of other players, right, that are doing well, the chains and the dApps and everything else. I saw this headline, and I'm going to put two and two together because this headline looks at Circle, USDC, and SBI. And you may be thinking, well, what's the big deal about USDC? It's a stable coin. You can't make money off of it. It's kind of boring, right? And this partnership is in Japan. Circle SBI Holdings partner to boost USDC circulation in Japan. Here's the thing. This is how you put two and two together. SBI Holdings, okay, is one of the biggest partners with who? With Ripple. SBI Holdings holds enormous amount of XRP. They are a huge partner to Ripple, and they've been helping Ripple make a lot of connections. Okay, the stable coin, what was it? Not stable coin. The CBDC initiative that's on Ripple or XRP Ledger is brought on by SBI. And a lot of the financial institutions that are using XRP are brought on by SBI. So here's putting two together. Right now, you know, Circle and USDC is looking for partners, right? So I'm thinking the next thing that will be announced is USDC is coming to XRP Ledger. XRP Ledger needs a stable coin, needs more stablecoin support to grow their DeFi initiatives, right? So I think this partnership is more around Ripple than anything else. So that's putting two and two together. We'll see. We'll see. But I have a feeling within the next few months, we will see Ripple announce or Circle announce that USDC is coming to XRP Ledger. And that would be good. That would be good because XRP or XRP Ledger is trying to grow beyond just a chain being used for cross-border payments or cross-border settlements. They want to be payments and they want to be a DeFi chain. They also want to be an issuer CBDCs. They want also games and metaverses come. They want to be a full-fledged L1 is the bottom line, right? And having a stable coin like USDC can definitely help them. All right, what else is there? About Ethereum, a little controversy, I guess. Ethereum obviously is still growing, 94,000 new accounts, 32 million in stake funds, which is all good. But Vitalik recently said that he needs to change how staking works. And he's going to implement all these new things like private mempools, ERC 4337, ZK EVMs, liquid staking, and he's concerned about the growing liquid staking providers like Lido and Rocket Pool. And basically he's saying he wants to improve staking. He wants to improve decentralization. And Charles Hoskinson, of course, has to throw some shade, say, no worries, Ethereum 3 will have it all sorted. Charles is no fan of Vitalik and Ethereum, that's for sure. That's the only controversy. There's nothing else beyond that. I just thought that was funny. All right, that is pretty much it. Today is a recovery day. Looking at Bitcoin, I showed you guys. We have, when we went down a little bit, we went from 38.4. Now we're down a little bit to about this 36.8, utilizing this as a support. And then can Bitcoin head back up to 40,000, maybe in time for December? Well, let's see. I wouldn't bet against it. Anyone that's shorting Bitcoin right now, they're just begging to lose money. All right, let's do some Q&A. All right, let me scroll up here. Let's see if I missed anything. Alice, good morning. Future Games, good morning. Melvin, good morning. Let's see. Jamin Diamond takes the cake. That's right. Carlos says 120K not going to happen. Well, you know what? A full year. Think about how much Bitcoin can move within a short amount of time. 120,000 by the end of 2024. I mean, that's a real possibility. That's nothing to be laughing about. That's not fantasy world. 120,000 by 2024 by the halving event and afterwards. Usually Bitcoin starts moving either immediately after the halving event or just a few months afterwards. And we may be close to 50, 60,000 by the halving event. And to think it doubles after 50, 60,000 to 120,000 within 6 months during a parabolic phase of a 4-year cycle, that's very reasonable. That's not to be LOLing, in my opinion. Arneil, have you heard of Akash? If so, what do you think? Not a fan of it. Not a fan. Have you seen the new 800 horsepower electric Dodge Charger? You should review it. That came out like 6 months ago or a year ago. Yeah, it's horrible. That speaker for an engine sounds horrible. There's no EV muscle cars. It's just funny. It shouldn't exist. EV cars are great to get you from point A to point B. But if you want a muscle car, you need that rumble, you need that exhaust fume, you need that 6-speed, I guess. It's just not the same. NMCT, did you cover Adam's Prop 848 that passed? Also grants. I did 30 at 30x and made 1K, bought more Bitcoin. No, I didn't cover Adam's stuff, but I did. As for Grok, that's the latest meme coin that's popping, and I said I hate it because it's just some random dude that stole the name from Elon's AI project and made a meme coin, and it's been pumping really well. So I'm like, whatever. I'm going to be a degen. I threw a 10x at it and made $4,000. But to be fair, I didn't close it at 4,000. So when I closed it, I made like 1,500, not 4,500, which I should have closed. When you're being a degen and you're getting into memes, or you're doing leverage on memes, what I've learned is if you're making good money, just close it and take your profit, because you never know when it's going to come down, right? So that's what I've learned. Do you think Gala could still come down to 0.02? What is your view on Gala? I think it has potential to come back. People still tell me they enjoy the games on Gala. But I've been saying I don't enjoy the lawsuits that the founders are placing on each other, right? So they need to stop that. They need to stop it for the betterment of the project. He did talk about the targeting of Tron. I saw some news about it being the next on the news for terrorizing activity. Tron has always been garbage because of Justin Sun. So whatever bad fun news that comes out about Tron, 100% agree. And just look up Justin Sun. Just look at the shady stuff that he has done in the past. Okay? I'm surprised. Justin Sun should have been the first SBF, but he just never got as much attention as SBF. It would not surprise me Tron falls and goes to 0. All their numbers are fake. If you look at the TVL, it's like third highest. And it's fake. Everything that they have done has become shady. All the companies that they acquire, everyone leaves because they become shady. So whatever they say about Justin Sun is true. Red Moda. Yeah, I use a couple. MEXC I'm still using, but I hear new people can't get in because they started placing restrictions on U.S. citizens, I guess. But I don't know. I still seem to be able to get in. But I know that's why I moved a lot of my stuff into being the X with you guys to show you guys. Which my leverage plays are still in the green, except Avalanche has turned red. That's no good. BDC at 37. These were much higher, like 90%, 80% before. Matic went into red a little bit. But, you know, I'll keep these open. I should take some profits on these if Bitcoin goes lower, but who knows? It might just flip right around. Am I a boat guy or fan of fishing? No. I don't not enjoy them. I just don't do them. I have fished before. I have been on boats before. You know, I'm not the type of person that can lay out in the sun for like 5 hours, which is what like most boat people do. You know, I'm just not a fan of that. I can't do that anywhere. I get too bored. But I'm not against them. Have you seen a pump on USDC? What could it be about? No. Isn't that a stable coin? Terra Classic? Yeah, it's a stable coin for Terra Classic. What happened to my Grok? I closed it. I just said I closed it. I made like $1,500. I could have made a lot more if I closed earlier, but Grok is too volatile. If you catch it right, you can make some money. But if you catch it wrong, you'll lose everything really fast. So right now, some memes are doing good, right? Because the market has come up, people are more willing to degen and participate in these memes. But you know, I'm telling you guys, if you're looking for low caps, small caps, you know, that could do well, there are a lot. You just have to look for them. No guarantees that they will become big cap in the next coming, you know, parabolic run, but there are legit projects that are not just memes. I think people only look at memes because they're like, this is the only way I'm gonna make 1,000x. Right? But there are so many memes that come out, and these whales, you just don't know. It's very hard for some of these to become the next Pepe or the next Sheeb. I was just talking to someone that told me he got in Sheeb sub 100,000. He had like 4 point something trillion of Sheeb back in the day, and he didn't really like what the team was doing at that time, so he sold out. And he said at peak it would have been worth like hundreds of millions. Even now it's worth like 50 million or something. But you know, that's like once in a lifetime, and it happens like to like maybe less than 100 people. That's like a lottery ticket moment, right? And everyone's looking for that. It's so rare. It's better to invest in big projects that you know is going to get you that 5, 10, 20x rather than chase 1,000 or 10,000x, you know. Well, whatever. You do what you want to do. If you want to degen a little bit, you want to have some fun, go ahead, you know, but just don't go too heavy into it. If you're like putting your entire portfolio into it, that's when you can wreck yourself. Hamza. So literally the same thing with me and Sheeb. Would add a few million, but you live and you learn. Yeah. I'm glad you could live with that. I calculate all my crypto, my current crypto at their all-time high. My portfolio will be 15K from 4K. I'm working on making a 10K portfolio. Awesome. That's a good start. 10K portfolio is actually a really good start. If you get there, congratulations. 10K can become 100K in one cycle. That's no joke. No joke. Some of these have to move. Some of these have to move almost 10x just to get back to previous high. I mean, it's no joke. So to say a 10K portfolio to 100K, is that silly? Not really. I'll just pull up like Avalanche, for example. Avalanche was at almost 140. So you're talking about 7x. So if you were just holding your entire portfolio in Avalanche, you could expect like a 7x by the end of 2025. So 10K portfolio becomes 70K. So, you know, 10x portfolio is not unreasonable. It's really not. That's why I'm not a Bitcoin maxi, right? I've said this. Bitcoin is a big daddy. It's going to lead the way, but it's important to have some diversification in your portfolio because when these alts run, they really run. They really carry your portfolio. And even if you are a Bitcoin maxi, you should still have some alts because when the alts run, they make you gain. Your overall portfolio value gains more than Bitcoin itself. So the overall number of Bitcoin that your portfolio is worth is actually going up when you hold alts during the right times. Can Injective be a top 10 at some point, Charizard? Injective has been very strong. They slowed down recently. So within the last, few weeks, they slowed down. Could they be in top 10? It's always a possibility, but I don't think it's going to happen. There's too many chains that are too strong and too big. For them to overthrow those chains, I don't see it. At least not this cycle. VeChain price prediction. Can't really give you a VeChain price prediction other than it'll go back to its previous high at least. So that's like a 10x from here. That's more than 10x. So prime example of something that could do a 10x. And now some of you guys might argue, well, just because it was that high before doesn't mean that's going to go back to it, right? That's 100% true. Just because something has happened before doesn't guarantee that it'll happen again. But I know from experience that majority of these projects do go back. And the ones that are the biggest in the space, the ones that have the most loyal investors and loyal holders, the bag holders, and the ones that continue to execute and get the word out and build the brand and build the project, those are the ones that almost every single time break their previous highs. Okay, it happened in 2017. A lot of these existed in 2017, and what happened in 2021? They broke their previous high. And VeChain is one of them. And a lot of these others that I talk about, they have all those qualities. So that's why I think so. Now, is it guaranteed that every project is going to reach their 2021 high? No. That's where you got to do your research and keep up with these projects. If these projects have become stagnant and you don't hear anything out of them anymore, like the founders, like, don't say anything, their social media activity becomes quiet, you don't hear anything about upcoming changes or roadmaps, then you know there's a problem. But when you keep seeing these guys continue to execute, you know, that's when you know that they're not giving up and they're only going to get stronger. What are your stream times? It's very easy. 8:30 both times. AM and PM Central Standard Time. Except on the weekend it's 10:30. But it's 8:30 both days. Both times in a day, I should say. Very easy to remember. U.S. market is not doing so well today, but it's not that bad. No one goes by Central Standard Time. Well, I do. So you have to just remember that. What's wrong with Gemini? ETH's gone and BTC is showing over $9,500. I have no idea. I don't know if that's true or it's just something wrong with your computer, but that sounds a little sus, as the kids would say it. That's why I like Charles and Cardano. Yes, that's why Cardano, as boring as they are, they're still up there, number 8. Zoom in a little bit. Well, it looks like Bitcoin bounced off of that. Now it's coming back a little bit. But again, the reason why I don't zoom in like this is because, like, you get people like, oh, no, look, it's dropping. Oh, it's dropping so much. Oh, my God, it's going down, right? But when you look at it this way, you're like, okay, I think we're trending upwards. I think we're doing just fine. So when in doubt, zoom out. That's really a thing, especially for Bitcoin. Rhonda says, this pullback is a DC opportunity. Yes. DC opportunity whenever, I mean, really, you could argue any time is good DC opportunity, unless we're above previous highs. Then maybe you could think about it. But right now, we're nowhere close to previous high. Bitcoin is not at 69, 70,000. Ethereum's not back to 5,000. You know, Solana's not back to 300 yet, right? So good DCA opportunity. And if we do dip, then of course, even better DCA opportunity, right? Like last time we dipped, see now Bitcoin's going back above 37. Last time we dip is when I opened majority of these. And, you know, even though these are degen leverage plays, but still the concept is the same. You know, I picked a lot up when we fell down last time. Over here about 35, 36, I'm like, hey, it's a good opportunity. You know, that's how it works, right? So you DCA either on a schedule or you just DCA the dips. You buy the dips, right? That's how it works. How do you know when to take profits? Well, when it comes to like a meme, you take it right away if you can. Like, you know, I degen into Grok, right? I should have just sold right there. Like, even before posting this, I should have just sold. So it started coming down really quickly. So I ended up with like 1,500 profit instead of 4,500 in profit. I mean, that's $3,000 lost in like 10 minutes, right? So when it comes to meme, if you're up like 100%, just take it and wait for it to come down and do it again. Don't try to like, you know, ride it up to the moon, because most likely you're not. But when it comes to anything else, you know, it just depends. If you first rule is to take your initial investment out, so you're playing with house money, which is great. Second rule, this is something that I just created, is set a percentage of cash on the side, 20, 25, 30%. So if you see your overall portfolio growing, then the cash pile will start diminishing. And when it does, then that tells you, hey, it's time to take some profits, replenish that cash pile, and just keep it consistent at 20, 25, 30, whatever amount that you want. I think that's a really easy way to think about taking profits, right? Rather than calculate every single one, like, oh, you know, I got to take it every 50% or 100%, whatever. Just know that you need to take some profits when that cash pile starts diminishing. And when alts and Bitcoin really start moving, you're going to see that cash pile diminish from 25% down to like 10% really quickly. That's when you know, okay, got to take some off the table, leave it at 25%, you know, something like that. Alex, smash that like button. That's right. Mike says, I have a sign in front of me. Don't forget, take profits, pay yourself. Yes. Yes, it's important. It's important to take profits, but right now for me, I am not taking profits. Unless I'm degenning, yes, then I take profits. But like my overall portfolio, I'm just leaving it there. I'm only adding more to it because, like I said, we're nowhere close to our previous high yet. Once we surpass it, once Bitcoin starts breaking above 70 and we're at 90, 100, 120, like what Standard Chartered said, okay, then, yeah, I would think about maybe taking some off the table. Again, leaving that cash pile plentiful. But right now, it's like I'm riding this out. I'm waiting for the top. I'm waiting for the halving event. I'm waiting for 2025 afterwards, right? That is what I'm looking forward to. That's where wealth is made. No more coffee. Do you still follow a 50-25-25 rule? Asked by Andrea. Me personally, I'm a little bit off from that. My BTC is a little bit lower. My mid cap's a little bit higher. Okay, but that's generally it's just a really good starting point. 50% for stability using Bitcoin, 25% for stability and growth, and big caps, 25% for growth, pure growth, with mid, small, micro caps, right? But of course, you could deviate from that. But 50%, I think, for Bitcoin is good. My DCA portfolio that I've been doing with you guys is like around 50%. My own portfolio, I think it's a little bit less, more like 35%. My big caps is a lot higher. And I don't have a whole lot of small caps right now. So, but, you know, you guys decide what's the optimal percentage for each category, I guess. But, you know, the only reason why I suggest that is because there's too many people that's like 100% in small caps. Okay? And that sucks because, like, for example, from October to now, if you're holding nothing but small and micro caps, your portfolio probably didn't move much at all, right? Versus had you had Bitcoin in the big caps, you would have seen some substantial recovery or gains. So, yeah. So that's why. It's always good to have Bitcoin, to have big caps, and there's no set number. You could just have like 2 coins, 3 coins, right? And then mix it up with some micro caps. Sorina, is that how you say it? Sorina became a whole Bitcoiner yesterday. Congratulations. Very, very, very tough to do, especially when the whole Bitcoin is at 37,000. Congratulations. Congratulations. All right, guys, let's call it a day. You know what? Bitcoin, take a slight little breather today. Okay? That's okay. Do not panic. Even though the banks are kind of evil, we got one that's very pro-Bitcoin. Made a bold prediction. 120,000 by 2024. Is that unreasonable? No. After the halving event with spot Bitcoin ETFs, that's certainly possible. So stay strong, my friends. Continue to HODL and DCA, and you'll be led to the promised land by Bitcoin. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.